My parents couldn't afford anything for us. I couldn't afford any sneakers, so the best way to find sneakers is to break into somebody's home, sell some of their stuff, get all this money, and then buy myself some nice sneakers.
My family's home got pulled apart because the welfare system thought that we had too many in our home.
Pretty much as soon as we arrived in Invercargill, my first appointment was to a Tautau Medical Center, and I was the only doctor out there. And I was seeing people that would only get into town like once a week, and they didn't have much social life, and there weren't too many places to get together. And we just thought, well, why not do what we're passionate about, which is helping people learn more about health?
Invercargill, New Zealand's southernmost city, is the capital of Southland. It's the place where you'll find the famous Indian Scout motorcycle, which was modified and raced by world-beating racer Burt Munro. The rugged mountain ranges of central Otago provide a picturesque backdrop for some of New Zealand's best pastures and dairy farms. But Southland is more than the sum of its beauty. It's a place where a warm, caring and tight-knit community is finding a home. Welcome to Finding Home, Invercargill, New Zealand.
Southlanders are renowned for being friendly. It's part of our DNA. Talk to people, do something to help people. That's just how we're built. I suppose Invercargill, most people think it's the coldest place in the world, but it's far from that.
It's cold, yes. And it gets real hot, like it hits the 30s, but no one will tell you there. And there was a local person, and they all mostly say this. We only tell you about the cold to keep you guys away from here.
I think the outdoors was probably what first attracted me, being close to Fiordland, Catlins, and finding out they've got like endangered penguins literally like an hour away from here. So that's been pretty cool.
Southlanders, people tend to be self-sufficient, especially seeing there's so many farmers, because we've got to carry on no matter what life and weather and politics throws at us. My name's Margaret Saunders and I live in Winton, which is in Southland. Winton's about 30 k's north of Invercargill on the Queenstown Road. It's very flat and it has mountains in the background which have snow in them in the winter, and it's a beautiful place. Our farm is mainly cropping. We grow oats and we make chaff. We also run about 600 sheep.
Stand up, we'll try that standing up, shall we? That's good.
It's lambing time at the moment. Lambing goes from about mid-August to about mid-October. This is where we bring all the sheep who have problems during lambing. This lamb's just been born in the last few hours and it hasn't got up and got a drink, probably because it's got cold with the weather. So I've given it some milk off its mother, which is the best milk, and also taught it how to drink. So I just need to give it a bit more milk to give it enough energy. I'm a nurse by occupation, so it's a caring occupation, and I guess I look on my lambs as needing care, and it's my job to provide with things they need. If we're prepared to have sheep and lamb them, then it's our responsibility to provide what they need. And it's amazing when a lamb does pull through from something you think they're not going to survive, or you teach a lamb to drink, especially an older lamb that comes in starving, and it's really hard to get them to suck from a bottle at that stage, and after a lot of work they finally make it, and it's really great when they do that.
I'm Owen Saunders and I live in Winton, which is 30 kilometres towards Queenstown from Invercargill. Farming was always my passion from a child. I grew up as a fitter and turner and spent many years standing behind a lathe and progressively bought small blocks of land around Winton and kept adding on till we've got a farm that's a viable occupation. Well, I suppose chaff cutting's in my DNA. My grandfather bought a brand new chaff cutter in 1936 and was contracting. On both sides of both grandparents cut chaff. There's 365 acres here, and we farm 600 sheep and 250 acres of oats. We cut the oats with a reaper and binder, which is a 150-year-old technology, which gives a premium product. There's been no substitute produced that gives the same end result. The days we cut chaff, we need 7 of us, and at harvest time we have 6 extra staff to our normal 2 of us, permanently for about 3 months. Struggled to get casual staff at that time of the year. We've drawn a lot of our staff from the corrections department, released to work people. I've been involved with the prison since I was about a 12-year-old, when my father used to go and visit a prisoner, and then when he came out of prison he lived with us for many years as a child, and so I've always had that ambition to continue the work that he started. They deserve a second chance. We all make mistakes. Just some people get caught making mistakes, and they certainly deserve a chance, and I feel it's part of our responsibility to do that.
Okay, so I am a kindergarten teacher, and my normal day would be starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, setting up the environment for all our tamariki and their whānau when they arrive. I found! Just settling them in every single day is a different day. Settling them in, getting them into the routine, and also understanding, hey, this is a place that you feel safe, you feel loved, and you're ready to learn. We try to make kindy really safe, and it's the same every day, no matter what. And I've got the best job ever. I'm serious. Best job ever. Because I get to engage, I get to explore and excite children from the very young age. Hello friends, kia ora friends, glad you're here today. I was born here in Invercargill in 1971. I was child number 8. I believe that my parents, when they came to Invercargill, thought that this is the opportunity to give their children the best life and best start in life. And when we came here, we didn't really know the culture, the food they ate, the weather. We weren't used to wearing jerseys on our skin or wearing shoes. But unfortunately, what happened was that the principal of the school that my brothers and sisters attended, and the teacher came to our home, and they said that we weren't allowed to speak Samoan anymore. And they said that we had to catch up with what's going on in New Zealand. You need to learn our language, you need to learn our way, you need to learn our culture, so forget everything else. My family's home got pulled apart because the welfare system thought that we had too many in our home. So dawn raid happened in all of Aotearoa. Police would come and knock on your door at dawn. So this would happen at 4 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning, you'd see the lights of the police cars coming. You'd sometimes hear dogs, and then they'll be banging on your door, asking you to get up, and asking who's all in the house, seeing the papers of everyone that's in this house is supposed to be in this house. I remember that my auntie came to our house and she said that my uncle was taken away. And then the next time we see my uncle was that he was handcuffed, put on a plane, and the whole family were offloaded. So that was really hard. Fortunately, they came and they took 2 of my family members, my brother and sister, at a very young age, they were both under 13, into foster care. And my mum and dad felt guilty. They thought, well, they're doing the right thing for our family. So they thought, well, we need to just let this happen. And I just thought, I don't want any Pacifica family that's coming here to Invercargill or New Zealand to go through what we went through. That's why I'm passionate about Pacifica.
Yeah, I guess coming from overseas, I didn't realize how much beauty there was in New Zealand. And yeah, it's quite breathtaking, quite unparalleled. I mean, you've got the mountains, Close by, you've got coastline to explore. You've just got bays like this where when the tide's just right, you've got a lot of these rare species of birds coming down, some even from Alaska, looking for and searching for that right mix of elements to really help compose a compelling image. My name is Kimball Chen, and I'm living in Invercargill now, and we've been here probably the past 14 years, since 2006. I grew up in California my whole life, and I went into medical school in Southern California, Loma Linda University. Amy also went to Loma Linda University. We met in 2005, dated, I believe, about 9 months or so, and then by 2006, then we got married, and then we came down here to New Zealand.
My husband was looking for jobs, and he's psychiatry, so since he's a specialist, we had to kind of go where the options were for him. And at that point in time, it was either Invercargill or Mount Hutt area. And we just thought, well, Invercargill's got more surfing, so we'll go there. That was kind of it, surfing and hiking, tramping, biking, and that pretty much sold it to us. Pretty much as soon as we arrived in Invercargill, we kind of got the idea that Invercargill is really a lot of lonely people. I was working in a tautau first. My first appointment was to a tautau medical center, and I was the only doctor out there. And I was seeing people that would only get into town like once a week, and they didn't have much social life, and there weren't too many places to get together. And we just thought, well, why not do what we're passionate about, which is helping people learn more about health. We started with some friends getting together and putting on some programs in the community. And some people would ask me, they'd be like, well, hey, you're a GP, why are you doing this for free? I'm like, well, this is kind of what I do in my free time, you know? Because I actually really enjoy it. I enjoy meeting people and getting to know more about them and hearing about their lives.
We had started like Balance Wellness Center as a non-profit organization to be able to just reach people. And I think the name kind of speaks for itself. Balance Wellness Center is really about helping people find balance, right? We all live in a rat race, kind of self-induced. And how do we, get back to basics, balance our lives more? Amy's a GP. She really enjoys the physical aspect. And as a psychiatrist, I really enjoy the mental health, the emotional aspect of just really helping people see, okay, there's dimensions and areas of our life that we all need attention to, fine-tuning.
Born in Porirua, Wellington. I was living in this suburb called Waitangiroa. And Waitangiroa was an interesting place. A lot of Polynesians from the islands moved over, had children like us being New Zealand born. Growing up in Porirua, we noticed that there were gangs, but they were normal because they lived next to us and they were around us. Mongrel mobs living across the road. My friends were mongrel mob kids. Growing up, what we did was we played basketball from sunrise to sunset after school. Our Māori brothers and sisters would tell us when we used to have fights with them, go back to where you come from. And I was thinking, I'm not even from Samoa, but I'm Samoan. I've never been to Samoa, but I'm here. So we had an identity crisis. Hip hop was a culture that identified my experience. It spoke a language that I don't think anyone was able to explain what we were experiencing. So we were from nowhere. We were nothing. And Aotearoa hip hop was definitely a platform that formed the person that I am today. And so I got into graffiti, and so I did graffiti, but because rapping was much cooler, and so graffiti was a huge part of my upbringing with hip hop. My parents couldn't afford anything for us. I couldn't afford any sneakers, so the best way to find sneakers is to break into somebody's home, sell some of their stuff, get all this money, and then buy myself some nice sneakers. I was more of a thief than I was a brawler or a drinker or a drug addict, even though that was a part of the life in the background. But that was normal for me, just to break into homes. But I only did that so I can get some money to sell it to the mob or to anyone that was willing to buy it. and so that I can use this money so that I can fund some of the things I was doing. And some of those things was just drugs, good clothing, and just feed the brothers, and at least we could carry some sort of finance to do what we wanted to do. We formed this group called Hamofide, and Hamofide was one of the earlier groups in the 1990s. We were mentored by the foot soldiers who were a Wellington, a central city-based group, and they were mentoring us, and they just gave us opportunities to showcase our story. I think it was in 1998, and I went AWOL. I didn't turn up to practices, but something was going on in me, man. I'm not too sure what happened, but I do know I was wrestling with something more. I thought I arrived, I knew who I was, and I knew where I was going with this hip-hop. I wanted to be just part of this hip-hop community, Aotearoa hip-hop. But for some reason, I wasn't satisfied. And so I had to find a way. What in the world is going on? I'm not happy anymore. I thought hip-hop was my girl. What was going on? And so, Hamofide continued, and I left the group. One of the gigs that we had prepared ourselves for was this old hip-hop group from the US, was called Bone Thugs and Harmony. We were preparing to open the act. And then a youth leader from the church that my parents went to, he came and asked me, if you're not doing anything on a Wednesday, come to youth group. I was thinking, youth group? I don't want to go to no youth group. I had to wrestle with going to the concert and going to Bible studies with youth. And I sat there and I just listened. And then I realized some of the things they were talking about was answers to the question that hip-hop couldn't do for me. And that was, I really was actually looking for real love. And I just realized, man, this youth group is answering a lot of not only my questions, but the urge and the yearning to become whole, to become actually content. I thought, I want to give this Jesus guy a go.
Tūlanga continued delving into his newfound Christian faith and went on to become a pastor.
Today, I wanted to show you how the greens turned out when they really turn out well, when you have sprouts that look like this. Pretty amazing. So that would be about 10 days worth of sprouts that started out like this. You add your water and you just pour it over twice a day and you get sprouts that look so amazing. You could just eat that for a salad and you could keep yourself going. People ask me why I do the things that I do in my free time and for no money. I guess it's just that I've seen patients and they come along and they see me and they're at their wits' ends. They're saying, "Doctor, help me, what can I do? I've had a heart attack, I've had a stroke, I'm, disabled," or many of them have had diabetes and had amputated legs, fingers, toes, worse. And they really are looking for some answers and for hope and for help. They really need to know that someone's gonna be there with them through the process. And so to me, that's the most rewarding thing. Not that I have all the answers. I like to be able to share information with people, but I like to be with them in the process so that they know that they're not alone going through this process of making some lifestyle changes, so that they know that they're not alone going through the process of working on finances or relationship or diet or nutrition or exercise. Just being there with them, to me, is really exciting and encouraging and rewarding.
I think about legacy. What do you want to pass on to your kids? What do you want to pass on to your friends and the people you care about? And when you think about your tombstone, you don't want people just to say, "Oh, you're a nice person" or "you're generous," but really at the heart of it is, can you connect with people? Are you making a difference in people's lives? And really that is the same thing as, are you actually helping people? Are you making a difference?
Graffiti is something that I use to connect with young people or young adults. And so this is an assistant to help me to connect with them. At the end of the day, these tools and these ideas, whether it's graffiti or baking cupcakes, really is helping me to connect with these young people so I can actually do life with them. At the end of the day, it's not about the graffiti, it's about the people. It's always about people, and especially young people, because I'm passionate about young people. I find that they are more moldable, easy to work with, and I think they are more easier to have a second chance and to make those changes to be better versions of themselves. And so graffiti helps to assist me to connect with these guys.
What I like about graffiti is the creativeness, and when you've done something, it kind of helps. You can have it show it as your emotions and how it makes you feel. If we have troubles or something, it's easier to spray paint something instead of writing or expressing it to someone. So if you spray paint it down, it shows our emotion more.
Because of hip hop, God used it to say, this is what I'm about to. Do you understand? I absolutely know who you are. Thank you for speaking to me. And so now I can do this. I use the same language to speak to others that can understand or are interested in this, so they can understand who God is. Not only just God, but also their purpose in life.
So what we're doing today, our Pacifica women, we've just come together. We've all brought a plate of food to share and eat, just to catch up, really, see what's been happening. And I led a ukulele workshop last month, and they loved it. So they said, can we do it again? So this was the night to do it. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are grey. I don't intentionally go out to help people. Things just happen. People just say things to me and I think, oh yeah, I can help you with that. You say something to me, hey Becca, can you help me with this? Or I know of someone, then I can do that. It's something that I can do. So I believe it's my upbringing, always go and help others. There's always someone less fortunate than you. Never judge anybody. And what you see on the outside, maybe not what's going on the inside. I just feel like if I can make someone have a better day, then why not? I believe I need to help people because in the Bible it says, love each other, care for each other. You know, God, He loves me so much, He gave His own Son on the cross to die for me. Well, it's not so much for me to go and help someone who's asked to help. So that's why I love to help others, because God has done it for me.
We've had children from the Southland Adventist Christian School visiting our farm on a couple of occasions now. The teachers have learning that goes with it. One group were learning about the 23rd Psalm and Christ as our shepherd, so that fitted in very well with that.
You've got to be fast though, because lambs can run really fast, and even with a crook, you've got to be pretty good to catch them.
So like if I run, you have to quickly grab me.
So do you have to be strong too?
No, just fast and clever.
It's a fun experience for them to come out and handle the lambs, but also there's spiritual lessons in that, and things like I can work with a lamb who doesn't want to drink, refuses to drink, and it's like God has all the things that we need for our lives, and yet we reject it as well and think. The reason that we try to encourage and help people who are struggling with whatever their background has brought them is because I believe that Christ loves them as much as He loves me. He came to this earth to die for their sins as well as mine, so He values them just like He values me.
When we arrived here, and before we were even planning on staying, we thought yeah, this is a beautiful community. Maybe we'll stay for a year like our commitment was, maybe 2. And then after that, we started attending the local Seventh-day Adventist church. And there were people there that were super excited and on fire with what our skills and abilities offered. And they said, hey, you guys could be doing some really amazing stuff, even more than what you're doing. And so we got together and we started using some resources, some speakers from overseas, some programs that we put together ourselves, and started putting them on the community. And it was really exciting just to see people come along to those things and learn and grow and share, once again, like really personal stories from their struggles and the ways that these programs had helped them.
The church that I attend is Invercargill Seventh-day Adventist Church. And I love my church because we're a family. We look after each other, we listen to each other, and it's a fun place to be, but also spiritually, we are amazing. We uplift each other and empower each other, and this is like my family. It's my extended family.
Yes, for me, it wasn't until I started attending church regularly that I really realized there's a great mix of people across all walks of life. And it was really more down to earth that really caught my attention.
When I walked into the church, the first thing I wanted to do was to build relationships with them. And I realized what really makes a great community is that all generations are there. There is a huge senior generation from babies to youth to young families. It made me feel at home. We are able to support one another, and because it's a nice family-orientated church community, we are able to look after each other like a family.
We all want to be healthy and happy, to live a long life full of love and friendship. A life where we are surrounded by people that care about us and support us. In Invercargill, there is a place like that waiting for you. Why not come visit the Invercargill Adventist Church this Saturday morning at 30 Doon Street? And you'll be welcomed by Owen, Margaret and Rebecca. It's a place where everyone can feel accepted and loved with no strings attached. At the Invercargill Adventist Church, you'll find caring people like Kimball, Amy and Tulanga, who can help you both with physical health and mental health. And if you aren't near Invercargill Adventist Church, just Google your nearest Adventist church. You'll find friendship, help and comfort, and you'll discover a wonderful place to call home.